Ciao everyone and welcome back to another episode of Learn Italian with Songs. Today we are going to talk about Dimenticarsi alle 7 by Elodie from the Sanremo Music Festival 2025 edition. Now, this song ranked quite low according to many of the how can I say, of the fans, okay? And it was ranked 12th, okay? So many people hoped for it to end up in top 5, okay? Of course, like the fans always wanted to win, but it's not always like that, sadly, for the fans. But for sure, I myself thought it would have been at least in top 10. I didn't expect for this song to be out of the top 10. Anyway, we are going to talk about it more in the discussion. Now, let's talk about, first and foremost, the translation of the title. Dimenticarsi alle 7. Now, this can be a little bit nuanced because to give you the perspective of the meaning, I would translate it as forget about each other at 7 a.m. Okay? However, dimenticarsi per se is the reflexive form of dimenticare, to forget, and it can just mean to forget, ok? Mi sono dimenticata le chiavi a casa. I forgot my keys at home. Ok? It is often used in its reflexive form, in fact. However, giving the whole meaning of the song, it would be better to translate it as forget about each other at 7 a.m. For the simple fact that about each other is implied. But I wanted to add it to give you a better perspective on the meaning. However, if we want to keep it literally, it would be just to forget at 7 a.m. Now, being honest about the lyrics, they didn't receive a lot of compliments from the critics. And I have to say that, to be fair, the lyrics are quite simple. Okay, what really makes the difference is the performance, which is, of course, part of the ability of the artist. So, in this case, Elodie is objectively a great artist, and the performance of this song, personally, I liked it. However, it is objective that the lyrics are simple. Doesn't mean that something is bad per se. There are many good songs with simple lyrics. We are going to talk about the baked potato dress or the kebab dress later. But anyway, concerning the meaning of the lyrics, as usual, I took a quote from the artist herself, in this case, and I translated. So, what's Dimenticarsi alle 7 by Elodie about? The lyrics are about the desire to forget someone. It's a song with a nice romantic drama, which I like to interpret. Here is Elodie speaking. But it's not an autobiographical story that reflects this moment in my life, even though I found myself in that situation many times. So, in this case, Elodie is explaining. This song is not telling the story of something happening now to me, in my life right now, which is something common usually for singers, for artists. However, it is a situation I experienced myself, but in the past. So it's not something that I'm living right now, but I went through something like this in the past. It's a ballad about a person who goes dancing. I would define it as pressing but melancholic. There was another song that I had thought about bringing to Sanremo, but Dimenticarsi alle sette is something different from the things I've already done, and that's why, in the end, my choice fell on this song. So keep in mind that both for music and lyrics, this is not an Elodie classic, okay? It is a twist, it has a little twist that makes it a bit different from what she usually sings about. Sorry, the allergy is killing me. So, is a bit something a bit different for her, mainly considering her last singles, so songs published not as a part of an album, because usually Elodie is more strong and sexy, if you want. Here is more melancholic. I have to say, this Sanremo we had a shit ton of melancholy, nostalgia, and whatnot. It was a pretty sad Sanremo if you look at the meaning of the songs, but it is what it is. I don't know if the artist decided to create a coalition of nostalgia and melancholy this year, but apparently it happened, or like the stars aligned. Anyway, specifically concerning about the lyrics, let's start with the intro. Quanta gente passa e se ne va. How many people pass by and go away. This to give you the idea of how the sentence is built in Italian. The meaning would be more like how many people come and go. Che non sa chi sei, who do not know who you are, as in without knowing who you are. Contarla, credo, sarebbe inutile. Counting them, I think, would be useless. In un mondo che è freddo oramai. In a world that is cold now. Stasera, tonight, and this last word of the intro connects the intro to the first verse. But back just a second on this intro. First of all, what's the general meaning? Quanta gente passa e se ne va che non sa chi sei, contarla credo sarebbe inutile in un mondo che è freddo oramai. How many people come and go without knowing who you are? Counting them, I think, would be useless in a world that now it is cold. In a world where there's nothing left if not coldness, as in like spiritually speaking, concerning relationships, okay? Also, a little note on grammar. It is something that I try to point out because gente, people, is a song that is, it is a word quite common in Italian, and it might be challenging for English native speakers or other languages where people is considered as a group. So that has to be declined plural. In Italian, gente, despite being a collective entity, so including more persons, okay, since it is considered as something collective where the individuals don't count, but is the group counting, it is like saying a group. While English keeps the individuality in a certain way by keeping the verbs plural, okay? So, we have in Italian gente che passa e se ne va, che non sa contar la, ok? All these details, all these parts of the discourse, of the sentence, of the syntax, are conjugated and declined at the singular, okay? While if we check in English, people pass by, go away, come and go, don't know, counting them, it's considered plural. So remember, in Italian, is like to say a group, okay? So something singular because it is considered as a set of elements where the individuality of the elements in that case is not relevant. So we consider it as a whole unit. That's why we keep the singular. Then we have the first verse. Ci sei solo tu nella città, there's only you in the city, degli occhi miei, of my eyes. So, as we said, the last word of the intro has the functions as a bridge between the intro and the first verse, because it would be stasera ci sei solo tu nella città degli occhi miei. Tonight there's only you in the city of my eyes. In Italian we have degli occhi miei instead of dei miei occhi, because it is a construction that you can find both in poetry and also in the colloquial Italian, mainly with certain dialects. Yeah, I personally like this image. I think that the lyrics, despite being simple, were a bit downplayed, if you ask me, mainly because right now I cannot think of them separately from the performance of the artist. So yes, the song is simple, the lyrics are simple, but they are delivered in a way that where each word counts. Okay, so I actually appreciate it. Se è vero che poi fanno la ruggine, if it's true that they rust, io non voglio più piangere così. I don't want anymore to cry like this. Why? Because usually iron rusts in contact with water, okay? Here we have an alternative, a little bit of a nuance that I want to point out. Why do you say fare arrugginire, fare la ruggine, okay, in Italian? Can't you just use the verb arrugginire, okay? Something in English can rust. Just like in Italian, qualcosa può arrugginire, okay? But if we have this verb, arrugginire, which is exactly like to rust in English, why sometimes do we put the verb fare? So we use fare plus the noun related to the verb instead of directly the verb. Why do you make the rust literally instead of rusting? It can be due to several reasons. In this case, because fanno la ruggine has a more fluid sound, because it fits better in the metrics. Arrugginire is because with the verb it would be se è vero che poi arrugginiscono. Arrugginiscono is not an easy word to pronounce. Is not that fluid if you notice. Fanno la ruggine, it is more smooth. It is smoother. Okay. So in that case, in the economy of the song, I would say because arrugginire doesn't fit. Wouldn't have been smooth enough for the lyrics, my opinion. Again, generally what I say in the analysis, despite the objective facts like how a sentence is built or a verb is conjugated, the interpretation of the choices of the artist are my interpretation. I don't live rent-free in anyone's mind, I hope. So this is my interpretation, logically speaking. And then we have the pre-chorus. Now you see that some parts are between parentheses because those between, in between, what I write in between concerning the parentheses is an echo. It has an echo chorus effect, ok? Che cosa ne sai? What do you know about it? I explicited about it because in Italian we use ne, which is about it. Prima ancora, prima, even before che ti incontrassi, I met you. So even before I met you, prima ancora, prima che ti incontrassi, and we find a beautiful example of subjunctive, amore, love. Poi rivedersi ancora, then seeing each other. Yeah, like it is to see, but like in English would be seeing each other again. Come due pazzi, like two fools. Che cosa mi fai? What do you do to me? Travolti da un'idea, overwhelmed by an idea, che non vuoi che passi, that you don't want it to pass, literally speaking. Another beautiful subjunctive, che piano piano scivola giù, that slowly slides down. Ok, a couple of notes. Poi rivedersi ancora, then seeing each other again. So here we have once again a sort of breakup, okay? Because it is actually a wannabe breakup. Ideally, the protagonists want to break, are on the verge of breaking up, because clearly, for some reason, mentioned, hinted at before, the relationship is not working. So they know the relationship is going to end, but they keep seeing each other. How? Come due pazzi, like two fools. Here I translated it as fools to give a better idea of the meaning. Because, you know, there is the quote saying the definition of foolishness, of madness, is to repeat the same thing expecting different results. The idea here is the same. The fact that the two protagonists keep seeing each other, despite knowing that the relationship is not working, is an act of madness. Pazzo is pazzo masculine, pazza feminine, is it means crazy. Okay, it's an adjective meaning crazy, mad. Okay. Then travolti, from the verb travolgere. Here I translate it as overwhelmed. However, travolgere has a very specific etymology in Italian, because it comes from transvolgere, Latin, okay? Transvolgere literally means to turn upside down, to turn like moving someone beyond, okay? It is ideally a very strong act. For example, in Italian you can say travolto da una valanga, which mean to be swept away by an avalanche. So while at least to me overwhelming gives me the idea of something that suffocates me, that presses, okay? Travolgere in Italian gives me more the idea of something sweeping me away, something that I cannot control, I cannot take, because it's going to sweep me away. Like, it is, I see it like as stronger than overwhelming, okay? Then we have piano piano. This is a phenomenon, a linguistic phenomenon that we met in other occasions. In Italian it is called reduplicazione or raddoppiamento espressivo. Reduplicazione I can do it. Reduplicazione espressiva or raddoppiamento espressivo. Expressive reduplication or doubling. So, it refers to a morphological and syntactic phenomenon consisting in the repetition, usually total, of a lexical unit, as in a word, okay, put it simply. It is used above all, at least in Italian, to intensify the meaning of the repeated unit for expressive purposes. What does it mean? It means that if we have, for example, an adjective, piano, slow, and we want to intensify it, we duplicate it. So we say piano piano instead of molto piano, okay? And that's why it is slowly, but to be more literally would be very slowly. And then we have scivola giù, okay? From scivolare giù. Literally meaning, in a certain way, it means to slide down. However, in Italian, has a double meaning, where scivolare can mean to slide. For example, at the kids' park, the slides are called scivoli, because this is the action you do. However, it can also mean to slip, okay? So, scivolare giù means to slip away. In this part of the song, the artist is telling us that the lovers, or at least one of them, is clinging to a dead relationship that you don't want to pass, a relationship you don't want to pass, you don't want to let go. However, this relationship, it is slowly slipping away, fading, okay? So it's the mad act, the crazy act of clinging to a relationship that is dying for the most various and diverse reasons, okay? Then we have the chorus. Dicevi, you used to say, this is an imperfetto a past tense, stasera, tonight, dove vai, amore? Where are you going, love? So we have this idea of at least one of the lovers going away. Ora che ho bisogno di te, now that I need you, ancora, ancora di più, more, even more. Solo per fatalità, here pay attention to the false friends because it is not fatality, it is chance, so only by chance, because while in English fatality, they have the same root, which is fate, okay? In Italian, we kept a more neutral idea of fate. Fate is what happens, okay? It can be good, it can be bad. However, in English, fate created another noun derivative, which is fatality. But fatality in English usually has a negative nuance, okay? In Italian, this is not true. That's why I translated this as chance. Solo per fatalità insieme, only by chance together. So, what does it mean? It means that we are not soulmates. We are not building our relationship. We are not working on our relationship, building it. We just ended up together by chance, okay? Of course, this is not a relationship too solid, but the idea is that in Italian, it is not something negative, because usually fatalities in English are the victims of accidents, okay? It usually carries a more negative meaning. But in this case, in Italian, the meaning is neutral. Like, it happened, we ended up together, and we didn't really do anything about it to make it happen, okay? It just happened. Dove vai, amore? Where are you going, love? Non mi fai, you don't let me, morire, die, to die. Non mi fai morire, you don't let me die. I think in this case, due to metrics and generally artistic needs, okay, poetic needs, the writer formulated the sentence as non mi fai morire, you don't let me die. But normally in Italian I would say non farmi morire, don't let me die, ok? Ancora, ancora di più. Again, even more, ok? More and more, if you will. So, in this case, it is not to be meant literally, okay? It is more like metaphorically, so like, don't make me suffer, don't let me, I die without you, okay? It can also mean, it can also be meant, literally speaking, if we are referencing to all those toxic behavior put in place by people who need help, psychologically speaking, and instead of looking for some help and improvement, they try to manipulate their partners to stay with them by saying that if they leave them, they are going to take their own lives, okay? I don't know if Elodie wanted to be that literal or if it was more poetic and metaphorical. It can be both. A good song has the advantage that it can be interpreted in several ways, okay? And then we have the hook, dimenticarsi alle 7, forgetting each other at 7, dimenticarsi alle 7, forgetting each other at 7, dimenticare, forgetting or to forget. This is the infinitive. Now, normally I didn't explicit am because it's quite common in many European countries, such as Italy, to express time from 1 to 24, okay? I found out when I was quite old that apparently it is not like that for the whole of the world. So actually in certain languages, for example, US English, you have to always be very careful about AM and PM because they normally count from 1 to 11. So just so you know, friends from US, in Italy it is normal to use what you call, I guess, military hour, something like that, because it is something normal for us when we want to be very specific. I normally use the counting from 1 to 24 when I have to take an appointment or I have to set an appointment with another person and I want to be sure they are not going to misunderstand. So, for example, instead of saying we are going to see each other at 1 p.m., I say 13, ci vediamo alle 13. It's something that I do and other people do also in France, for example. I really appreciate it because it helps me a lot. But yeah, for us Italians, if we say dimenticarsi alle 7, it's it's pretty much implied that we mean 7 a.m. So even if I'm not expressing it, just so you know, if it is less than 12, it's a.m. If it's more than 12 is p.m. Okay. So why at 7? Usually 7, if you need to go to work, to school and whatnot, is the time when you wake up. Okay. So probably here the idea, I don't have an objective answer. This is my interpretation. Usually when you wake up in the morning, it can be a metaphorical representation about starting something anew because you started the day. So the idea is that I'm going to forget you the day after in the morning. Okay, maybe we spent a night together, it was the last one, and when I'm going to wake up the day after, I'm going to forget you. Then we have the second verse. Quando prendi a calci la poesia, when you kick poetry, I explained these other times, but repetita iuvant. In Italian we have the verb calciare. You can calciare una palla, so kick a ball. But when we want to mean that we are ruining something, so as an idiom in a figurative way, we often say prendere a calci. So, io posso calciare la palla, I can kick the ball, but if I have to kick, as in to ruin something, to destroy it, I have to use prendere a calci, because I'm talking about something in a figurative way. That's why here we have quando prendi a calci la poesia, when you kick poetry. Ma che bella sei, how beautiful are you. Ma che bella sei is a very common colloquial construction built of the sentence. When we speak colloquially, we often start with ma or allora. Ma is but, literally speaking. However, we use it pretty much as an interjection. Very common to hear me saying when I speak Italian, ma senti, ma allora. Like, it's just the way in which we often start sentences, but it doesn't really have a meaning. It's just like to open the door of the discussion, so it can be ignored. Nella tua solitudine, in your solitude, sembra tutto più facile così. Everything seems easier this way. Now, a bit cryptic, these verses, if you ask me, because here basically, in your solitude, everything seems easier, which might be that, as we like to say in Italian, meglio soli che mal accompagnati, which means better alone than badly accompanied, as in it is better to be alone than with someone that makes your life harder. That's why everything seems easier this way. This is my interpretation. Could be that, could be something else, I don't know. Then we have a pre-chorus with a little variation. Che cosa ne sai? What do you know about it? Prima ancora, prima. Even before, before che ti incontrassi, I met you. Amore, love. Ancora, ancora, ancora. Again, again, again. Come due pazzi, like two fools. Che cosa mi fai? What do you do to me? Travolti da un'idea, overwhelmed by an idea, che non vuoi che passi, that you don't want to pass, that you don't want it to pass, che piano piano scivola giù, that slowly slips away. Okay? Now, here, instead of what we found in the first pre-chorus, poi rivedersi ancora, we have ancora, 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 which gives me a bit what I saw happening several times with certain couples going back and forth in and out the relationship. So we stop seeing each other, okay, but actually no, we keep seeing each other, then we take a pause, and then we see each other, and then we take a pause, and then we see each other, and so on, and so on, and so on. That's why I can see a continuation of poi vedersi ancora from the first pre-chorus, then seeing each other again, and again, and again, and again, e ancora, ancora, ancora. So I can see this connection between the two choruses. And then we have, once again, the chorus. Dicevi, you used to say, stasera, tonight, dove vai, amore? Where are you going, love? Ora che ho bisogno di te, now that I need you, ancora e ancora di più, more and even more. Solo per fatalità, only by chance, insieme, together. Dove vai, amore? Where are you going, love? Non mi fai, you don't let me, morire, die. Ancora, ancora di più. again, even more. Then we have a little bridge. Dimenticarsi alle 7, forgetting each other at 7 a.m. And here, at this point, you heard the chorus at this point of the song, and you expect the hook, which is dimenticarsi alle 7, dimenticarsi alle 7, dimenticarsi, but instead you get the bridge, which is dimenticarsi alle 7, così di un giorno qualunque. Just like any other day, as in, just like that, in a day, during a day, that could be any other, ok? Mentre si parla di niente, while talking about nothing. Usually this is an expression, parlare di niente, it can mean an insult like you are saying nothing, like wordless speech, like but in this case can mean small talking, ok? Lì seduti in un bar, there sitting in a bar, può capitare a chiunque. It can happen to anyone. Ma a noi no, but not to us. Ma che strano effetto che fa, but what a strange effect it has, mandare giù, swallowing, la verità, the truth. So what's the meaning of this bridge connecting the chorus and then the chorus again? Forgetting each other in the morning, so starting anew, okay, one day, because you just probably it's not something that happened to everyone. To me, it happened that you really wake up one day and you realize your relationship has no future. I know that it seems extreme and also a bit like taken from a novel, like, because one person could say, oh, but because you argued, like, how can you just wake up with this feeling that the relationship has ended? Okay, of course, there are signs, not that someone out of the blue, like, decides, okay, stop the relationship. No, but maybe you had difficulties, you tried to fix them, or you just kept going more as a habit that with intention, okay? And you just wake up one day and you realize that you are not in love anymore. There's no point with this relationship to keep going, and there's no future. It is really a very specific feeling. I can relate to this, and I understand that it's not that easy to picture, but in my opinion, the lyrics conveys it quite good. And in fact, Elodie says, forgetting each other in a day, during a day, just like any others, while we are doing some small talks, sitting in a bar. This thing can happen to anyone, but we said it cannot happen to us because we are in love, because there is passion. But the issue about passion is that it goes away. A relationship lasts because you put intention into it, because you built it, because you cultivate it. If you base it and built it only on passion, passion is like a fire, is going to extinguish itself. A good relationship that is going to last is like a plant you take care of. And here I can see her saying, we had this passion, it was so strong that we were like, oh, we see the others, they are breaking up, but we love each other so much, it is impossible for that like for us to go through that, it's impossible. It cannot happen to us. But then she said, but what a strange effect it has swallowing the truth. Because at certain point, one of the two, or even both of the people in the couple, they start to understand that that passion extinguishes itself. There is nothing more. Yeah, like a cigarette that burned out. But you cling to it because in that relationship you felt good, but you didn't cultivate it. The passion is gone, and there's nothing left. So you are just clinging to the idea of your relationship. And then, in fact, we have a variation of the chorus because we have only the first section of the chorus. Dicevi, you used to say, stasera, tonight, dove vai, amore? Where are you going, love? Dove vai? Where are you going? Rimani, stay. Ancora, ancora di più. More, even more. So basically, don't leave me. Don't break up with me. And then we have the hook that was teased by the bridge, where dimenticarsi alle 7, forgetting each other at 7 a.m., is repeated 4 times. At this point, Elodie could have been 7, don't you think? And then we are left, in conclusion, with the last word, which is dimenticare, forgetting, which is pretty much the idea of the song. So yeah, in the end we have the tale of a love story that is dead, on the brink of the breakup because it has no future, and at least one of the two people is not happy about it. Given that, I'm not very happy, and I don't really agree with what it was said about the lyrics. Because yes, they are simple, there are colloquialism. Elodie is from Rome, her dialect, I guess, is dialetto romano. And it shows, and that's okay. But in its simplicity, I forgot to shake the juice. My God. But yeah, basically, despite being simple, they convey very well this feeling that I felt in my life. Probably without knowing that feeling, this song is harder to understand. But I can tell you, it is well put. It hit close to home, this song. This moody is very hard. Anyway, favorite part of the stream. It is time for the gossip. Now, today we have a bit of gossip to discuss, to be honest, because Elodie, despite being objectively a great artist, you might not know that she has a lot of haters. This reconnects a bit to the discourse, the topic I was facing when we talked about Chiamo io, chiami tu by Gaia. Why? Okay. To put it simple, the reason why Elodie has so much haters is because she is not scared of showing her body. And guys, how many Italians are pissed with that? You have no clue. I really don't understand how is it possible that in 2025 we are so against the bodies of people. Like, I understand that hypersexualization of bodies is a problem, okay? I understand that pushing unrealistic body types or aesthetics is a problem in nowadays societies, and I could have a whole TED talk about how this favors capitalism, consumism, but I won't do it in this occasion because I need like 1 hour only concerning that. However, there is a difference between proposing unrealistic models of bodies, faces, like unrealistic models, generally speaking, and just being okay with your own body. In one of the most recent songs, of course, concerning the time in which this live is being recorded, of Elodie is Black Nirvana. Okay, Black Nirvana is a song released in the summer 2024. It was pretty much a hit, but many people talked a lot about the song, mainly because in the song, Elodie is basically naked. In the video, in the official video, you can find it. It's on YouTube. She plays a lot with shadows of her silhouette, and she is wearing an outfit very revealing, which plays on the fact that it is semi-transparent but still opaque. Okay, so that's why you can find it on YouTube, because she's not naked. However, it hints heavily about posing naked. Because for Elodie, this is something important. She explained that she loves nude in photography, in cinema, and whatnot. And in fact, she also made a calendar with Pirelli. Pirelli is an Italian company, originally making parts for cars. But I don't know if it's an Italian stereotype or if it's in the whole world, but basically Italian mechanics need, like it's part of their religion, they need to have a Pirelli calendar in their workshop, because at certain point Pirelli noticed that mechanics really loved calendars with naked or semi-naked women, and they said, you know what, we gotcha booze, and they started to make their own calendars with naked women, featuring also very famous artists, expert in nudes photos. And in fact, it is pretty much a stereotype in Italy that all the mechanics workshop have the calendario Pirelli calendar with naked women. So she participated in the one of the latest editions of the calendario Pirelli, and people like lost their shit. They usually lose their shit quite often also with Annalisa, because they basically say that the reason why Annalisa and Elodie have so many fans is because they are basically, pass me the term, horse. Because people, like, their brilliant idea is that apparently you can be a singer just because you show yourself naked. According to this reasonement, we would be plenty of great singers on Pornhub or YouPorn and Brothers, I don't know, all the website. Yeah, Alex, please show us the best brands concerning porn. But yeah, like those Spotify, we wouldn't need even Spotify or YouTube, because Pornhub, Brothers would be enough, I guess. So of course this is a silly take, one might say, about the fact that they have a fan base and they are recognized artists just because they are beautiful women showing themselves naked or even revealing. Because yes, for example, Elodie is a fan of nudes, but Annalisa simply has a very peculiar style. But as far as I know, she doesn't have an OnlyFans or something like that, so you know. That said, like, the hate against Elodie is a quite evident, obvious symptoms of a very tremendous illness afflicting Italy, which is called sexism. It's very hard to being cured from this illness. We are trying our best. It is hard to improve. So it is. Thank you, Alex, for your contribution to society. And oh my god, this grapefruit. So basically this was once, and in fact she was criticized because even with this song, like, no, better, with this song many people are like, oh, finally Elodie can make a song without showing her body. And in fact, I like her now, because usually I don't like her. But now that she's covering herself and acting like the classic woman she should be, now I like the song. Bro, but like, honestly, are you watching at her because she's a model? Because you want her to be your imaginary wife? Or because she sings well? Because when I listen to Elodie's song, is because I want to listen to her singing. I don't care what the outfit she's wearing in the video, personally speaking. But it is what it is. And concerning about the outfit, many people laughed about the first outfit, at least. The others, I don't even remember them, of Elodie, because she wore a very peculiar silver outfit, long dress, and she basically seemed a kebab, because you know what we call in Italian carta stagnola, the silver film fake metal you put the wrap kebab in, or the shawarma, or like the potatoes. Basically the silverish film where you cook or put the aluminium wrap. Thank you, Gaso. Yeah. So yeah, and so like we joked about like all Italians basically joked about the fact that Elodie is so beautiful that you can wrap her in aluminium wrap and she's going to look beautiful nonetheless. And in fact, she proved us right. It's like the way of saying we have an Italian. È così figa che puoi metterle anche un sacco della spazzatura e sta bene lo stesso. Close. Besides that, what else happened? So we had a beautiful duet, a beautiful collab featuring no more collaboration on cover night because she sang with Achille Lauro. Achille Lauro is deeply related to Rome as well, just like Elodie, and in fact they sang beautifully. I really liked it. Also, they had a quite funny scene after finished singing because Achille Lauro just started to sing for Elodie while Elodie, embarrassed, tried to pull him out, like drag him out the stage, and like we were full of memes, like me at my seventh gin tonic this evening, my friend trying to drag me home while I'm singing drunk in the club. Fair. So we had that. We had another shitstorm going for Elodie because basically in the post Sanremo, in one of the interviews, she attacked the journalists because since the participants were announced, all the journalists, the press, kept saying, "Oh, Georgia is the best, Georgia is the best, Georgia is the best, Georgia is the best," and then Georgia wasn't even in the top 5, and so Elodie went like full on raging. Probably you can find some clips against the press saying, "This is this is not respectful. You disrespected her career." You can't compliment and praise a song and an artist for the whole time and then letting her slip into the 6th place out of the top 5 and having a full-on male podium. There was a lot of debate concerning this thing, for example, because some said the problem is not the problem is that none of the female artists were good enough to enter the podium because the lyrics given to the female singers this year were very underplayed. They weren't good enough, so the problem is not the fact that we didn't have women in the top 5 per se, but the fact that the songs given to the women weren't good enough. Others said no, actually if we check out the numbers we can see that statistically speaking men are most likely to end up in the top 3, top 5 and whatnot. It is, as usual, a complex problem without an easy solution. But yeah, the fact that the podium was maidenless, it's not looking good. Let's put it like that. Yeah, but like, to be honest, it is also silly to put on the podium people just because they wrote their own songs. Like, with all the respect for Simone Cristicchi, the song wasn't a top 5 song. Even Fedez, for me, it wasn't a top 5 song. I understand that, for example, only represent a certain audience, so it represents the young, so I kinda understand. I didn't particularly like it as well. Like, Georgia should have been in top 5. The full-on male podium didn't have sense because, like, there is no objective reason explaining a full man podium. I do agree that these year songs were a bit underwhelming. Like, I was much happier in 2024 with the songs of Sanremo. That's why I agreed to do the analysis of last year's songs as well, because it was full of beautiful songs. In fact, I already analyzed like five or six. This year was a bit underwhelming. I had to listen the song several times to really appreciate them. It wasn't a year where I found songs saying and I said, "Oh my god, amazing, 10 out of 10." Like first time I listened to it, first performance, it hits. It was something I had to learn to appreciate, okay? So this thing that objectively there was no reason to put one of the female artists in the top 5, I don't agree with it. Just putting Georgia because of her career, it's not a good idea either. In my opinion, Georgia deserved to be in top 5 because if you really look at the lyrics, despite simple, like in Dimenticarsi alle 7, they were complex in their simplicity. I personally prefer the lyrics of Dimenticarsi alle 7 because there are some metaphor similitudes that I don't really appreciate in La cura per me by Georgia, while I generally appreciate the entirety of the lyrics of Dimenticarsi alle 7. The only thing that I can understand is that not everyone can relate, so probably some people will struggle to fully understand the lyrics. Because as I explained, the lyrics refer to hint at a very specific feeling, and if you felt it at least once in your life, it hits close to home. If you never had to deal with it, probably you're like, meh, that's just a song, a love song like any other. Okay. For me, it worked. I also understand that's a gamble you take as an artist when you pick feelings and stories that are not relatable for everyone. It's a risk, it's a gamble. For me, it worked. For other people, didn't, and it shows. But it's okay. It's still a win for Elodie, and in fact, I guess I really think she's going to achieve good results within the end of the year with this song. I'm quite happy with it. Other gossip thingy, not really, but because like the issue with Elodie is always the same. People criticizing her because she shows her body. And I really don't understand this rejection against bodies, this very basic excuse about, oh, the children. Like, you have shows for children which are quite clear concerning their target. For example, the cartoons, I can think about Masha e Orso or Peppa Pig or I don't know, cartoons made for children, shows made for children. In this case, I understand that some contents are not acceptable, but Sanremo, Eurovision, other shows, they are clearly targeting adults, okay? They are not made for children. So if the performance of an artist is more sexy, okay, considering mainly that Sanremo goes until 2 a.m., if you parent have some issues with it, probably you should review how you are parenting, because your child is not a society responsibility. If you don't want your child to see certain things, like, and even in that case, like, it's legit just a singer performing, But if you don't want to see your child to see Elodie or Annalisa because they are not wearing enough things for your taste, you just control your child and you don't let them watch it, and that's it. Yeah, Masha e Orso is very popular in Italy, at least recently. Last time I checked with my little cousins, it was like doing pretty good. We like all the cartoons. We have cycles. When my little sister was little, Peppa Pig was overwhelming. Right now we have more Masha e Orso. Then we have things like Paw Patrols. I don't know, because like there was like a period where you had oh my god, the blonde guy dressed like a cat, and the lady with dark hair dressing like a ladybug. I don't really remember how they called. I guess ladybug something. Uh, but yeah, it's a cycle. Masha e Orso are still quite strong in the cycle, and I'm quite happy because there are a lot of things for children that I cannot stand. Like I don't hate people, because it's really something that I don't like to do, because hating it is not a good thing. So let's say that I'm not a great fan of okay, yeah, Ladybug and Cat Noir, yeah. So I don't really appreciate the majority of YouTubers or content creators making content for children, because they are the human representation of everything I don't agree with not learning pedagogy, basically. Yeah, yeah, like I am with your grandmother, Masha. Also, I really hope we'll have them for our children, because if we go again in another loop with Peppa Pig, I'm going to fucking dismantle any type of TV or something where my children can watch children TV shows, because I cannot stand Peppa Pig, and I cannot stand either the uh, content creators making content for children, like shows. I understand those, for example, showing how to make like to mix colors, to do little things with papers, how to color. Okay, like those things are okay, but the actual shows, mainly in Italy, like no, I'm going to block all of this channel on all the accounts, so my children won't be able to find them. Because at least for that I am going to be sure, because they won't have any other child of their age in France telling them about that Italian content creators. At least for that I'm safe. Will I have to deal with the French counterpart? Perhaps, but at least it won't be the Italians, because my nervous system cannot take that. Okay, so yeah. That said, as I was saying, like the issue is that with Elodie, it's always the same thing over and over again. Elodie releases a song, an album, does anything, a performance, whatever, and you will like you can check out, you can verify what I'm saying by going on Italian pages concerning Elodie, like for example Rai and whatnot. Every time there is a news or something concerning her, you can find an avalanche of insults telling her that she should wear more clothes, that people appreciate her just because she performs half naked, like she's not talented, she's just a pretty looking face. Like sillier thing than another. It is like it is one of the reasons why I really appreciate YouTube, because for long formats it is quite hard to reach people outside of your own circle, because generally the easiest way people find you out is because of the topic, or because they know a person or they follow a person following you, okay? While for short formats, Instagram, threads, like there are a lot of situations where your content reaches people who are barely able to read and comprehend 3 lines of text. They are very close-minded and they come to discuss with you not because they want an actual discussion, but because they want you to tell them that they are right, or they just want to tell you that you are wrong. This is a discussion that I have every time concerning bodies, because the morbosity against nudity, it's unbearable with certain people in Italy. And the same thing with swear words. Like I read recently a very stupid article from an Italian newspaper, and it's the reason why every time someone asks me, oh, what Italian newspaper should I read to improve my Italian? Usually I answer, I can give them for the good form, so because the writers, the journalists are actually quite good at writing, but pay attention to the content of the article, because they often say a lot of stupid things. Like there was one recently saying that they censored Kant from the Eurovision of Eurovision Song Contest 2025, because Blaue, I have to say, your timing in spawning just to say you are wrong is something else. But yeah, at this point you could have just typed I torto, so we do the whole circle. Yeah, like they censor serving cunt because it is a play on word with serving cunt with the swear word. And there are people in Italy like really convinced that that's one of the most vulgar words in the entire English language, and probably I really think they never talked to an Australian guy. If you know what I mean, it's because you heard the Australians speaking. So yeah, like completely ridiculous, unbearable. I can't stay in theme. So every time the issue is that every time Elodie participates in Sanremo Music Festival, or there is some news about concerning Elodie. Yeah, of course, the German philosopher Blaue, of course. It is always Kant, always über alles. But yeah, like it is plenty of these people in Italy having these morbid aversion against swear words, any type of nudity, like the only thing I can do is to recommend them a really good psychologist, because in this case help is needed and recommended. But yeah, every time that Elodie participates in Sanremo Music Festival, any other festival, you can be sure 100% that there will be a post where people are just insulting her for how she looks. And you might tell me, oh, So, is it just for Elodie? No, it is also for Annalisa. It was also for Big Mama, because last year when we had Big Mama, insults because, oh my god, she's obese, she shouldn't be even allowed on the stage because she sets unhealthy expectation for young people. Like, oh my god, oh my god. Ugh. Sometimes I'm just happy to live in France. Um, and yeah, be careful, Blaue, because there are some Italians who are going to shoot you if you if you try to swear in Italy, which is silly. Because guys, I can assure you, the majority of Italian adults, I understand as usual, you can't really go in the face of a child and teach them how to swear without explaining the context, because you can have problematic situations. But the majority of the adults, they are like, they don't care about swear words. Like, but because we are adults, they are words like any other. Like, you have a laugh. If I see someone indignating or like getting offended for a swear word, like, my first reaction is, but what, like, did you just came out from the kindergarten or something? Like, it is just a word. Grow up. Good strategy, Blaue. Good strategy. You have my Italian blessing. It's like the news I posted on Discord today, where like a kid was suspended from school lessons, like everything, like he beat a classmate. No, ha bestemmiato. Like, he said a blasphemy. Probably it's not true, but the issue of that post on Instagram was that it was full of Italians saying, ah, yeah, they are right, it is a very proportional penalty for bestemmiare. And I'm like, why did I study law for 5 years exactly? To read this bullshit? Hell no. So yeah, I think I'll just try to get more people to join Discord, so I don't have to deal as much with threads and Instagram. I just go passively and I read things, and after 5 minutes I cringe and I close it. Threads, we are getting at that level, to be honest. And so, yeah, I'm going to do what many people do, which is keeping threads just so I can see the memes, mainly during Sanremo, so I can share with you all. And that's it. And that's it. Because I swear to God, sometimes talking with my connationals makes me feel like I'm happy I emigrated. Then I interact also with people from other countries, and I'm like, I would like to leave also Earth at this point, but I'll take it. Yeah, the wonders of social media. If I have to choose, I really have to say that YouTube and Discord are my favorite, simply because Discord is a closed community, so you can really moderate it as you want without many issues. But otherwise, but like, you see, Blaue, at least with teenagers, I get it. From children, kids, teenagers, and whatnot, at least I have a bit of hope, because I'm like, okay, there's hope. They still need to become adults. Um, and it's okay. They make me feel old. That's on me, okay? But at least they still have to grow up. My problem is when I hear mainly my connationals, because on social media I have random content I don't really care about, random content about linguistics, which are mainly puns in multiple languages, and then I have a lot of Italians writing. Now, what's the issue with each ethnicity, nationality, community language? Is that of course you will have a vocal majority. What's the vocal majority? The one that is favored by the algorithm. And what's favored by the algorithm? Controversial topics. So basically people who shit talk each other in a quote unquote discussion. This is how the algorithm works. And of course, due to this, despite following on purpose many creators, Italian creators, I consequently get on my homepage just Italian writing things. Sometimes it is funny, sometimes it is interesting because I still see some news and whatnot, but sometimes is cringing. And my issue is with adults behaving like children, like complaining about nudes in situation where only like children are not involved, or like one of the classic is like Italians being convinced to know very well English, completely ignoring concerning swear words that how seriously the swear word is taking is deeply related to the context and thus the culture. English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh people, they swear much more. Australians, they swear much more and they don't really care about it than US people. But even US people, like many of them, don't care. So getting alarmed for swear words that put in their context are not offending anyone, like serving cunt, it's childish because like it's not offending anyone. It's a play on word. Why are you so worked up about it? Yeah. I'm an old person complaining. I feel 8 inside. And I'm totally fine with it. Anyway, that said, this gossip and complaining session was very long. Thanks for coming to my tech talk. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think about the beautiful song by Elodie, Dimenticarsi, alle 7. That said, grazie everyone for watching and arrivederci.